those who want to render commentary or pose questions to be aware of the limitations of time and not render it necessary that I remind you of those constraints. So, and please, if you have a question, and if you direct it to a specific person, mention who you are going to direct your question to. We will not engage in a one-to-one interaction, but after all the questions have been asked, we will have an opportunity for the members of the panel to respond. Please go ahead. Introduce yourself and then state your question or comment.
Adım Zekaya, Türkiye Cumhuriyeti'nden vatandaşıyım. Sorum şu, küresel ısınma, kuraklık ve yakınlaşma ve bilgilerimizi birleştirmektir. Küresel ısınmaya karşı ve kuraklığa karşı yağmur yağdıran şahıs benim. Yağmur bulutlarını kontrol etmek gerekir. Yağmur bulutlarına. Kimi yerde sel felaket oluyor, kimi yerde kuraklık oluyor. Bulutlar meteorolojiden geçerken tespit edip kuraklık alanı boşaltmak. Ve sel felaketini başka yerde olduğu varmadan da dalga dalga boşaltmak gerekir. O bulutu, yağmur bulutunu boşaltan şahıs benim. Sizler bunun için geldiniz, bu belgeyi benden edinmeniz için. Ama Türkiye Cumhuriyeti'nde benimle ilgilenmedi bizim arkadaşlar. Teşekkür ederim.
Teşekkür ederiz efendim. Başka efendim sorusu veya katkısı olan? I reverted to my own native tongue also. Is there anyone else who wants to ask a question or render a comment? Well, it seems that we do have then a sufficient amount of time to discuss this declaration, the introduction of the living document. Tom, are you going to be introducing it again? Or, okay, could you be? Why don't you do it?
This is to clarify the process that the Indigenous Peoples Caucus has developed concerning this declaration that was brought to us by the Indigenous peoples, the Aboriginal peoples of Australia. Okay, they had convened a meeting as they had talked about in a gathering, and they looked forward to this meeting here, the World Water Forum, and they wanted to bring a document. And so the Indigenous Peoples Caucus has been meeting the past couple of days to talk about the process for the adoption of this declaration. So we were concerned that there's other Indigenous peoples here. There's also a parallel peoples forum that is going on, and there's more Indigenous peoples there. Some of us have our own processes in our respective regions and our respective communities. So we were very concerned about the process that respects our own Indigenous governance structures, our own decision-making structures. So here's what we have come up with, is that as an Indigenous caucus, we organized ourselves here as official body, and we recognize this declaration in its fullest. Every word, we accepted this declaration as it has come to us from the Aboriginal people of Australia. We recognize that there were other Indigenous peoples from other regions who participated in the development of it. So we have recognized that, we're putting it forward as a document from Australia. Now, our brothers and sisters from Australia are also developing it into a campaign of people that want to support that statement. And that's why there was a website that was listed, and you can get the website from them later, or someone can flash it up. So those of you that want to support that, you can support that document. We also supported the formation and the planning of this Indigenous World Forum on Water and Peace. We have not had an opportunity as Indigenous peoples from throughout the world to come together ourselves to deliberate to share our solutions, to share our struggles. So we want to have this meeting. So we recognize that this is an opportunity to bring these declarations, like what was mentioned here, as well as to recognizing other statements that will be coming from the indigenous peoples, from community, from regional areas. So we will be, those of you that see people here, we're going to be all involved with making sure that the planning and implementation of that world convening of indigenous peoples. Next fall is a goal, next fall 2010. We don't know the location yet, we don't know the specific dates, but this is where we need your support to be there, because many of you also are involved with these issues of water management. So that's what our process that we have developed. Maybe if someone else could help clarify, but that's the process. But we wanted to have an opportunity here as well for you to ask us any questions related to the presentations. We are here. There's a lot of knowledge here. Wisdom keepers are here. So I'd like to also encourage you to ask some questions about our presentations.
Is it possible to have this living document posted again on the stage so people can see it? Okay. Very good. I think the silence probably reflects total agreement rather than the opposite. Because I think there's a broad circle of sympathy in this room for what the panel has defended. I think for some of the people, it was an introduction into a topic about which they may be not particularly familiar with earlier. And I think the presentations were just highly instructive for all of us. So I think okay, please go ahead. Microphone is the person. Again, introduce yourself before you pose the question or make a comment.
My name is Tony Milroy. I work with traditional know-how in southern Arabia.
Is everyone hearing this?
Maybe, yes.
But not now. I think just sort of hold it close to you.
Yeah. Of course, how can we not, as human beings, support this declaration? But I don't understand the workings. I understand the workings of indigenous people and how you come to this collective wisdom and declaration. And please, is there anybody in the room who can explain to me the mechanism? Because we have all just said, yes, this is very good. I think we should be interested in the mechanism of whether and how this declaration, I could make a declaration about traditional know-how in Yemen. I could not ensure it will be incorporated into the findings of the World Water Forum, so it would be very good if we have some explanation of the likelihood and the process and the method to ensure these brave and necessary works are actually taken up.
Thank you very much. I think the point is well taken. As a political scientist, I always formulate questions in two different ways. I mean, apart from achieving coherence within the group, your real goal is to influence others to transform the environment, and I think that's the essence of the question, right? Thank you very much. Would anyone like to respond?